Hello everybody, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. I thought I would do a little video response to spooky season decks. We are approaching the end of September, the beginning of October. We're into the fall, and so I'm going to share a number of select cards from an array of select autumn and spooky decks. First off, I wanted to show you these little medallions that I was wearing, but I found it too hard to get them off over my glasses and my hat. This is a Green Man medallion, a Green Man mask, which feels perfect for autumn season mask wearing time. And this little guy is sort of a tiki god. Those of you in native islands might be familiar with these. I don't know if they're from Tahiti or Hawaii or what the history is, but these sort of grimacing faces, kind of perfect for spooky time, mask time. So there's that, and you see my black witch's hat, which I crocheted. Might as well get the ball rolling with these decks. First of all, shameless self-promotion. After a year and a half of publishing my own first deck, the Open Face Tarot, I decided to publish a white on black version. This is the Ghosted Edition. It's a majors only deck at MPC, and I would recommend, if you order it, they only come shrink wrapped, so I'd recommend ordering one of these lovely little soft plastic hinge boxes, which I think are about $2 a la carte. Definitely worth the investment to keep bridge size cards in. You might order a few for this deck and other decks that are bridge size. I wish they made them actually for tarot size, but I don't believe they do. Anyway, so this is the Open Face Tarot. I have this in a black and white version. Actually, it's sepia tone on ivory, but I decided that there are probably some people that don't like that and might prefer a darker deck. So these are the images in black. No labels on these. If you're in doubt, you can watch one of my video walkthroughs, but I think they should be self-evident to anybody familiar with excuse me, with the RWS or even Tarot de Marseille majors only decks to identify which cards these are. I'm not showing them all, I'll just show you a few here. Like I said, I do have walkthroughs of these. So that is the Open Face Tarot, the Ghosted Edition. Secondly, we have an oracle, and I'm not really much of an oracle person, but I couldn't resist this, and it's not really spooky, but it feels very autumn-like to me. This is the Forest Fae. Does it say Oracle deck? It's so dark in here I can't read. But it is an Oracle deck. This one I couldn't resist because having the channel Toadstool Tarot, the back design are toadstools. So yeah, I couldn't resist that. And I particularly love these sort of dark Forest Fae people, which feels very much in keeping with Halloween, sort of spooky time, and the coloring is very earthy and dark. So I really like, these are not what you think of as excuse me, glamorous fairies by any stretch of the imagination, but they feel more earthy and more real to me. Here again we have a sort of a green man mask. There's a hat to match my own. Beautiful paintings, I think. Many more in the deck than what I've showed you. This is just a sampling. So that is the Forest Fae Oracle deck, I guess, from Rockpool. Next we have the Halloween Tarot, which I won't show you. It came in a kit. Maybe I could show you if I can find the box quickly. Yeah. You can get it in a small box or this full-size one that has a deck, spreadsheet, and a larger book. This one has. I got this one because the guidebook is more extensive than the little white book that comes in the smaller version of the deck. These are the backs of the cards. This has a lovely orange and black sort of palette to it. And these are, I don't know if they're exactly dark and creepy. They're in keeping with Halloween. They're more sort of whimsical, fun, spooky decks. The lighter side of the dark side. Colorful, whimsical, fun. And this would be about the time that I would show you my new Jack-o'-lantern tarot, but unfortunately Amazon has that held up. It was supposed to be released about a month ago, and it looks like it won't be until mid-October, maybe even after Halloween before it shows up. I didn't want to delay this until then. Next, some controversy. Now, I was going to originally do this as a live cast with a chat, an interactive chat, and I thought, I don't want people bickering and fighting and arguing in my chat, and they may do that over this deck because there's some controversy surrounding it. This is the Trick or Tarot deck from Duck Soup. And some of you, many of you may have issues. There are stories about issues in terms of the behavior and attitudes of this deck owner, deck creator. I don't have those issues. I'm one of those people that can separate art from personality. I have people I love who do terrible artwork. I have people I can't stand who do amazing artwork. And then I have the vast range of people out there whose decks I buy. I love the artwork. I know absolutely nothing about their personalities, attitudes, or opinions. So I can readily separate all that stuff and just look at the artwork and value it objectively. So these are the backs. This is a collage deck featuring sort of nostalgic American collectibles collage. You have little like candy wrappers here in orange and sort of old-fashioned depictions of bats and jack-o'-lanterns and cats and children, skulls, little jack-o'-lantern buckets to collect your candy in. I like the framing of these cards with this sort of like golden gate, you know, iron gate kind of framing. I like the font. The numbers on the cards are a little bit hard to see. You won't see them in this video. They're up at the top and they're kind of small. But you can see the suit readily at the bottom. And there are a lot of images in this deck. So I mean, this is a fun deck, even if you don't use it to read with, to just like look at all the nostalgic images that comprise the collage work. And if this deck is not for you because you have opinions about the deck creator, then simply scroll past it. But I do ask you to consider what you do know, what you don't know, and what you think you know. This is cute. There's a Nosferatu in the coffin with a little teddy bear, which I thought was funny. And next we have, from Lo Scarabeo, the Dark Grimoire Tarot. This is artwork based on the Dark Tales of H.P. Lovecraft, who was another controversial figure. I think he wrote amazing stories, but personality-wise, he was reputably an irreputable, horrible person. But I don't feel like that diminishes the quality of his dark art stories. These are the backs of the cards. This is probably one of my darkest, creepiest decks. I went through these decks in advance and pulled out some that I thought were striking images so as to not get random cards. I didn't realize I hadn't whittled these down. I'd pulled so many from this deck. Apologies for that. Also, I have full walkthroughs of all these decks on my channel, in case anybody wants to see more of any of them. So that is the Dark Grimoire Tarot. Next, from Tarot by 7, is the 2017 Samhain Lenormand, which I think it came actually in a little hard plastic box, but the lid is very loose and comes off very easily and cards fall out. So I bought one of those little soft plastic ones with a hinge on it. This one I love the backs of the cards with these skulls and this old-fashioned motif. And each of the cards is bordered in a coffin shape frame. Generally speaking, they're pretty straightforward Lenormand. A couple of them do have sort of Halloween touches to them, like that tower had bats flying around it. And here we've got a jack-o'-lantern in the driveway of this creepy old house. but they have a nice antique-y feel to them, and I really like the coffin frames and the skulls on the back. Here's a child trick-or-treating. So that is the 2017 Samhain Lenormand by Tarot by 7. Next we have the White Witch Tarot, which is glitzy. It's a majors only deck. This is a very dark psychological deck. Dark and creepy in that regard. The images aren't for everyone. They're not easy to work with. You can meditate on them and go deep psychologically, but they're beautiful. It's like light energy coming out of the darkness. I really like them very much, but not a popular deck with most people. So that is the White Witch Tarot from Maya Djoust. It's hard to photograph here. Next is my, let's see, which one shall we do next? Let's do this one next. This is, I don't have the box handy for this either. This is the Dream Keepers Tarot, 2nd edition, which I actually prefer. The original edition has a different design on the back, and it's linen stock. This is a more kind of matte stock with a kind of antique-y design on the back. And the images are beautiful, but in a really dark and creepy way, I think. They're sort of antique images with sort of antique photograph collage. I think that sort of lends itself to dark creepiness anyway. But beautiful, but dark. A lot of horned figures and skeletal figures. And gorgeous, but like I said, sort of dark and creepy, I think. Sort of perfect for spooky season. On this one, again, the 2nd edition comes with a rather extensive, large guidebook, which is another reason that I bought this. I have the original one that just has a little brochure, I think, with a few keywords on it. So that is the Dream Keepers Tarot from Liz Houston. Next we have, I don't have the box handy, but this is the deluxe version of Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle, which I much prefer to the original smaller version. This is, I think these are bridge size cards, and really, really nice dark, creepy, sort of Halloween-y kind of images. I think the fact that the color on this sort of dark brownish paper with kind of burnt looking edges makes it more creepy or spooky. Maybe I should use the word spooky instead of creepy. There you go. Next, we have the Abandoned Oracle from Patrick Valenza at Deviant Moon. These are the backs. This doesn't look to me like it's coming out particularly focused, but I'm hoping you get enough of an idea of what all these cards look like. I'm not using my overhead camera, which is better focus usually because there's so many decks here, and I've had some problems with that lately, with false starts and so forth. Plus, I wanted to be able to show off my hat. So again, spooky, creepy. I was thinking today, I wonder why they haven't yet made an Addams Family tarot. So that is the Abandoned Oracle. Next we have the Deviant Moon Paradoxical edition, which some find creepy or spooky. I think the Paradoxical one might be more unsettling in a way, but beautifully creepy and spooky. The colors are sort of vivid, but also subdued. I think the colors kind of pop a bit more against the subdued, darker backgrounds. So that is the Deviant Moon Paradoxical edition. And last but not least, this sort of isn't really Halloween spooky season, but kind of fits. It's sort of leading into Christmas in the way that, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas might be considered Christmas as opposed to Halloween or both. These are playing card decks. These are Krampus playing cards. There's 2 sets. And I'm just going to show you a couple cards from the first set. The second one is very similar. It's very hard to see. These are playing cards, and they have different images on every card, derived, I believe, from turn of the century, not the most recent century, the one before, postcards from Germany, I believe. So there you have it. That's a sampling of the Krampus playing card deck number 1. Number 2 is more or less the same, or more of the same, so I won't share that. But you can see, like I said, walkthroughs of any or all of these on my channel, and I hope you all have a wonderfully spooky season. Be sure to share your decks. See you next time.